Friends, welcome to our platform. Today I'll be looking at the decision of the DRC government to ask the East African Regional Standby Force to leave its territory. It's a decision that has been greeted with celebration in the DRC, but it has not gone down well with the countries that have been asked to leave. So it is imperative that we get a perspective of the Congolese conflict. The Congolese conflict has two aspects to it. It has a regional dimension, and it also has an internal structural weakness problem to it. I'll begin with the regional dimension of the conflict. We all know that the current security crisis in the DRC partly stems from the war against Mobutu in 1996. Neighboring countries, namely Uganda and Rwanda, waged war against Mobutu because he was said to harbor forces that were hostile to these two countries. Rwanda accused him of supporting the Interahamwe, who had committed genocide in 1994, and Museveni accused him of harboring ADF rebels that sought to topple his government. Kabila Laurent Desire was installed as the new president. He was an ally to these countries. But later they fell out, and in 1998 we saw the resumption of fighting in DRC. Rwanda supported the RCD Goma under Bizima Karaha, and Museveni supported MRC of Jean-Pierre Bemba, and RCD Tsangani of Wamba Diawamba, and many other groups. We saw the two countries, which were supposed to be allies in the conflict, turn against each other in Kisangani in 2000. And today, Uganda is paying war reparations for looting, burning villages, raping women in that conflict. So neighboring countries have played a role in the perpetuation of the conflict in Eastern Congo. The other aspect to the Congolese conflict that has an international dimension is the vast mineral wealth that Congo has, which has attracted many actors that are interested in plundering the resources of Congo, and therefore they perpetuate conflict. And as such, the region has remained volatile because of the curse of the wealth that it has. But it is also important that we realize that the Congolese state itself has a duty to protect its own territory. Now, Congo has structural weaknesses, like I said. The Congolese army, the FARDC, has proven that it is not up to the task of securing the territorial integrity of the Congolese state and protecting its citizens. So as such, it has, given these opportunistic interests to, turn Eastern Congo into a playground. Therefore, to solve the Congolese problem, first, the Congolese themselves have to take responsibility for their security and the defense of their country. And this can only be done through political means. Congo needs to sit down and have a dialogue with itself and seek to resolve the internal challenges through dialogue so that it can build internal strength, internal capacity. Because once that is built, then these other external factors will fall by the wayside. It is important to remember that when the East African force was being deployed, it was hoped that because they are neighbors, therefore they understand the conflict well, and therefore they would solve it. But their, departure shows that there is no military solution to the problem. First and foremost, the East African force itself was comprised of countries that have different interests in Congo. For example, Burundi, which was a force contributing nation, has always fought alongside the FARDC in Sud Kivu, because Burundi has rebels fighting its government on the Congolese territory. They are called Red Tabara. So it has been conducting operations, joint operations with the FARDC to fight Red Tabara. Uganda, which also was a contributing country, a force contributing country to the East African force, has been accused of being sympathetic, if not outrightly supporting M23. So you had, different countries contributing to the force, but pursuing different interests in Congo. There is no way such a force would have, achieved any meaningful, results in that part of the world. Therefore, Congo's decision now to invite SADC is also not going to solve the problem. Why? Because SADC already has forces in Congo. They are fighting in Congo. They've been fighting against ADF. As a matter of fact, they also fought against M23 in 2012. They helped to defeat M23 then. But that they are being called back is testimony to the fact that a military defeat will not solve the problem. They've fought to a stalemate. There may be a lull in fighting, but the fighting will resume at a certain point. So a lasting solution is to be found in political dialogue of the Congolese themselves. And let us also remember that Congo is home to the largest peacekeeping mission today, MONUSCO, which has been there for more than 2 decades. Billions of dollars have been spent, but peace is still elusive. Therefore, it is time that the Congolese and the world realized that the only path to peace is through dialogue. The Congolese state also needs to learn to respect accords, because many of the previous wars have been ended through peace accords. In 2003, 2004, they signed the Sun City Peace Accord that brought an end to the war that had begun in 1998. But because some of the sections of that accord were not implemented, we saw in 2009 the resumption of conflict, CNDP, led by Laurent Nkunda. It was ended through a peace accord of March 23rd, which was never implemented fully, that led to the M23, because the M23 was formed against the backdrop of demanding that the peace accord of 2009 be implemented fully. And it also ended in the signing of a peace accord, which was the dialogue happened in Kampala, but the accord was signed in Nairobi in 2012, December 2012. The current fighting is premised on the fact that what was agreed upon was not implemented. So it is imperative that the Congolese government learns to respect peace accords. Otherwise, we will continue to see the resumption of war, and the net losers are the ordinary citizens who lose their lives every time war breaks out. So the best thing that the East African community can do for Congo is to be a helpful contributor to the dialogue for Congo. And this dialogue should seek to, create an environment where all Congolese feel safe in their country. Because the major problem is that the Tutsis of Congo feel that they are excluded. They feel that they are marginalized, that they are not accepted as Congolese. M23 has been said to be a force that fights for the rights of the Tutsi minority. Some people say that it's for the Banyamulenge. That's not true, of course, because M23 is largely comprised of the Tutsis from Masisi and Ruchuru. The Banyamulenge also have their own group. It is called Ngumeno Twirwaneho. It is in Sud Kivu, around Minembwe. And it fights against the other tribes, the Bafulero, the Babembe. These Tutsis of Ruchuru and Masisi also fight against the Bahunde and everybody else. So it is only dialogue which is aimed at ensuring that the Congolese state accepts to be inclusive and to treat everybody equally that will lead to lasting peace. But a military solution will not suffice. And then there are also those who think that maybe Congo should be divided, that it is too big to be ruled. That will not solve the problem either. We just have to look at South Sudan. When Sudan was split, actually now we have two failed states, one in the north, the other in the south. The same is likely to happen if Congo is split, because these tribal conflicts will continue. The Bafulero will continue fighting against the Banyamulenge. The Bahunde will still fight against the Tutsis and the other tribes of North Kivu. So dialogue is the only way out.